Welcome to the Sinister Cabin podcast. Today we have a thrilling episode in store for you. We'll be dissecting a movie that left me personally flabbergasted and morally conflicted. The Netflix movie, Leave the World Behind, an apocalyptic psychological thriller that has left audiences scratching their heads. From secret messages to AI influence, we'll examine the most popular viewer theories and give you my take on each one. Strap in, because this is going to be a wild ride. Now, let me start off by giving you a brief summary of this mind-bending film. Warning: the following conversation contains spoilers about a specific movie. If you have not seen the movie yet, proceed with caution. Amanda Sanford, a misanthrope in New York City, arranges a weekend vacation for her family, including her husband Clay and their children Rose and Archie. They anticipate a peaceful and idyllic time away from the chaotic bustle of their everyday lives. Little do they know that their tranquil retreat is about to be disrupted in the most unexpected and chilling way. They drive to the rental house on Long Island, and while shopping for groceries, Amanda witnesses a man stocking up on canned foods and water. As the family relaxes at a nearby beach, they quickly retreat after an oil tanker runs aground, and the television and Wi-Fi become inoperable. Amanda and Clay see a pair of deer, which lifts their moods. However, their plans quickly unravel when they receive unexpected visitors in the middle of the night. George H. Scott and his daughter Ruth arrive unannounced at their doorstep, claiming to be the owners of the property. They claim there is a blackout in the city that has forced them to seek refuge. Amanda is suspicious, but with their smartphones and the internet mysteriously down, Amanda and Clay are left with no way to verify George and Ruth's claims. A sense of unease settles over everyone as they grapple with the uncertainty of the situation. But Clay eventually allows them to stay after seeing a national emergency alert on all channels of television. The next morning, Rose is frustrated with the house's internet and TV being down, which has prevented her from watching the series finale of Friends. Amanda notices news alerts on her phone about the blackout, one of which attributes it to hackers. Tensions rise within the confined space of the house. Various chilling incidents occur that further mystify and unsettle all the characters. Secrets come to light, and trust begins to wear thin among them. Each passing moment intensifies the feeling that something far bigger than they can comprehend is happening beyond the walls of the house. Desperation and fear grip their every action. George heads to his neighbor's house, where he finds it in a mess, discovering the wreckage of a plane crash. He witnesses another plane crash, which he narrowly avoids. Clay drives to town to grab a newspaper but loses his way because his GPS is not working and encounters a Spanish-speaking woman desperately seeking help and a drone dropping leaflets written in Arabic. Elsewhere, Rose witnesses a larger herd of deer. Concerned by the presence of the deer, she hikes along with Archie in the nearby woods, where they come across an empty shed. As the movie progresses, the audience is left gripped with anticipation, wondering who these strangers truly are and what their intentions might be. Is it a case of mistaken identity, or is something far more sinister at play? The sense of unease builds up gradually, leaving you on the edge of your seat, craving to uncover the truth. The Sanfords leave the house, intending to drive to Amanda's sister in New Jersey, but find the highway jammed with collided self-driving cars. They narrowly avoid incoming cars that crash as well and are forced to return to George's house. The next morning, Archie's teeth start to fall out, and Rose is missing. George and Clay take Archie to visit Danny for medicine. Danny is the man who was stocking canned foods and water that Amanda saw earlier, and while Amanda and Ruth search for Rose at the shed, they face a herd of deer. Danny tells George that another neighbor may be equipped with an underground bunker. Shaken, George explains his perspective on the events to Clay and Archie, He believes an unnamed enemy is using a three-step strategy to wipe out a country, a coup d'etat. While Amanda and Ruth watch New York City burn out, the trio departs for the bunker. Rose discovers the bunker in the neighbor's house, where a computer message warns of elevated radiation levels in multiple US cities. The movie ends with Rose discovering a friend's DVD and finally watching the series finale. Now, here's where things get interesting. I'll be diving into some of the most intriguing theories circulating in the online fandom. From sinister twists to hidden symbolism and ambiguous plot interpretations, we're going to explore it all. Deeply rooted in the thriller genre, the movie skillfully weaves a web of mystery, keeping viewers guessing until the very end. Each scene is meticulously crafted to heighten suspense, with cleverly placed clues and red herrings like the movie ending, the red door, the sign thrown on the neighbor's door, the white line ship, the slave paintings, Ruth's '96 tattoo, and the radio saying 1619 only serve to intensify the conspiracy. The film will leave you with unanswered questions, open to interpretation, and multiple theories. This movie took a lot of processing to understand what's actually happening to them and those around them. It's interesting to see how they've used symbolism in this. It provides a lot more depth to it than just being your average disaster or post-apocalyptic film. Let's start with the end credits conspiracy theory. Some viewers believe that the end credits contain a secret message written in binary code. Now, before we dive into the details, keep in mind that this theory hasn't been proven, but it sure is intriguing. According to viewers who subscribe to this theory, if you play the credits backwards, it spells out a cryptic message about an impending apocalypse. Some have even gone so far as to transcribe the supposed message, which reads, "The time is near. Prepare for the coming darkness." Of course, this could simply be a clever marketing ploy or an Easter egg from the filmmakers, but what if it's more? What if this message holds a deeper truth that only the initiated can decipher? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this theory in the comments below. Moving on to our next theory, AI takeover. Proponents of this theory suggest that the movie's message is a red flag for the potential risks of AI development. It's a warning about the dangers of creating such advanced technology. One fan pointed out that the film's themes of societal collapse and technological takeover feel all too realistic given today's political climate. Could this be more than just a coincidence? Might the filmmakers have had inside knowledge of impending events? Next up, let's talk about predictive programming. This one's a popular one among netizens, and for good reason. According to proponents of this theory, Leave the World Behind contains subtle hints and clues about future events. Viewers who believe this theory argue that the film's themes of societal collapse and technological takeover are not just fictional but actually predictive of real-world events. In other words, the movie might be more than just a work of fiction. It could be a warning about what's to come. Might the filmmakers have had inside knowledge of impending events? It's food for thought, at least. Now, let's move on to the mind control experiment theory. Some viewers believe that the film's storyline was part of a psychological test conducted by a shadowy organization. They suggest that the characters' experiences were manufactured to test the limits of human psychology. Isn't it ironic that we're so obsessed with figuring out the end of the movie, just as Rose in the film was obsessed with figuring out the end of Friends, yet missing the root of the matter? The end of the movie is ultimately a mirror of our reality. Additionally, the movie delves into the theme of societal breakdown and the fragility of our modern lives. The blackout serves as a metaphor for a larger collapse, highlighting our dependence on technology and the liabilities it exposes. Amidst all the suspense and uncertainty, Leave the World Behind also explores the dynamics of human relationships. The family and the strangers are forced to confront their own prejudices, fears, and vulnerabilities, leading to unexpected alliances and revelations. In my opinion, the deer in the movie is a representation of where a safe place was. The first time the deer were seen was while the kids were in the pool. Even though they were making noise, it didn't startle the deer. Either they were accustomed to humans in close proximity, or what they perceived as dangerous was outside of that area. It's also notable that the deer brought her fawn to this location even though humans were present. Later in the movie, Amanda and Ruth tried to scare a group of deer away, but they wouldn't move away even with all the screams. They thought the alpha and the rest of the deer were going to attack them, but it actually seemed they were trying to tell them something. The group of deer then sprung out of that place. The ending, to me, signified how selfish society is or has become. The young girl, Rose, has wandered off without a care, fills her stomach with food left to help keep people alive, then watches the last episode of Friends, as that has been her focus since the beginning of the film. She was wholly single-minded and focused on herself. My take on Archie was that he was obsessed with beauty. He then lost his teeth and became grotesque and disfigured. Amanda hates people but is forced to interact and change her opinions, looking for help from those she hates, people. I feel much of it is a social commentary on society and how we can be so self-centered, but we're often challenged to rethink this and reflect. The most common plot hole being discussed is the contradiction created by the fact that Julia Roberts was actually on Friends at one point in her career. She wasn't a frequent main cast member, but since the world of the movie is meant to be extremely realistic, a common criticism is that Rose, who has seen the entire series but only the finale, would have recognized her mother on the show. Viewers who successfully scanned the QR code found on top of Kentucky on the TV when it showed a news warning about a cyber attack arrived on a page of Visit Mercer County that described the abandoned Lake Shawnee amusement park. This is said to be a creepy and haunted location where a lot of mishaps happened in the 20th century. There does not seem to be any direct connection between this Mercer County location and Leave the World Behind. However, its various dark and bleak incidents indirectly fit with the dark and twisted themes of Netflix's latest post-apocalyptic thriller. And there you have it. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. If you're someone who loves suspense, psychological thrillers, and dissecting the intricacies of mind-bending stories, then stick around. The Sinister Cabin is your haven for all things dark, twisted, and captivating. I'd love to hear your theories on today's topic in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious,